So I think this is a perfect segue into this question I like to ask. Because you've been through a lot and because you're ambitious and you have grit, um, what is your definition of successful life?
That's a great question because that's evolved so much over the years, just like myself has. And I think since my son got here, the overarching thing is if I make it to the end and he's there and like wants to be there and isn't just showing up to show up because it's my dad, I should probably be there. Like that is a definition of a successful life. If I get to the end and, my wife at the same time too, my wife and whatever other kids I have in the time being, but he was that switch for me. Whereas before, success looked a little bit differently, right? Success was me just working 90 hours a week because that's what I really love to do and just having my hands everywhere. And like, that at the time was success, but now it's like that, just getting to the end and having somebody there because I will not have that with my father, right? When I get to, like, I don't know if he's even alive, right? I know his sister just passed away, but at the same time, it's like she's the one that kicked me out and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, I don't know. It was a good eye-opening thing for sure.
Yeah. And I think that right there, what you just mentioned, right? Like, that's another moment in which life is happening for you, not to you, man, because, because you have those pain and anger and hurt, right, that you have within you, you're able to kind of channel that and learn and unlearn things so that you can become a great dad for your kid, for your son. And I think that's cool. And I think that sense of awareness and that desire is going to make you, a great dad. And I think, with, like, if you are in a position where you want to be better than your own parent and you are better than your own parent, then your parent did a good job of kind of setting the examples where it needed to be, but also leaving you as somebody that always is striving. You know what I'm saying? Because and that credit goes to you the most because you didn't let your hardships define you. You had grit, man, and I think that's why so many people look up to you. Me being included, man. I'm tall as shit, but I look up to you, dog, and I appreciate you for not giving up because the amount of good that you've done so far, but the amount of, like you say, we're really young. The amount of good that you're about to do from here on out. I think we're going to impact a lot of people. And for me, that's what my definition of success is. I learned that when I lost my grandpa, or our grandpa. So many people showed up at his funeral. I'm like, damn, how do you know all these people, right? And they're all like, Leo, you're the oldest, what? I'm like, yeah. He goes, he spoke highly of you, man. And also, he made a good impact in my life. I'm thankful he was part of mine. And that's when I knew. I was like, you know what? That's what success is. Like, it's not how much money you accumulated or how cool you are or whatever, like it's like how do you feel about yourself when you leave this earth? Like, do you look at yourself in the mirror and say all of the negative things that you used to say to yourself? Or are you looking at yourself in the mirror proud, thankful, like, thank you life, thank you body, thank you Leo for allowing me to live this life for this tiny amount of time. Like, if you're exiting this world with that attitude, man, that's a successful life.
100%.
And I think, like you said, right, I think it's super important to be somebody that cultivates relationships where people want to show up, not just to show up, but to show up for you.
Exactly.
And I think that's what my grandpa had at his funeral, and I want that for myself, and that's why I try to be as kind as I possibly can, no matter who individuals are, because, man, everybody's shit stinks, dude.
For sure.
Like, the richest man to the hottest woman that gets all the love and attention. We all come into this earth the same way, and we're going to leave the earth the same way. We all got problems. We all got, things that we're trying to overcome. And I think that's where I hope that the world can get to, man, where there's just so much circumstance-driven conversation, or like so much like intention driven. Like I give you an example. I want to talk to this guy because this guy can do something for me.
For sure. Exactly.
Or like I want to talk to this girl because
It's
I
a
have
take
intentions with her. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's a take mindset.
It's a take mindset. Whether if we can all exist, and no matter who it is that's around us, we're always in a constant given mindset. It's a lot more comfortable to be around, and I think that's why, like for me, I'm able to navigate rooms and people so well. And that's what I'm thankful for about myself, because I'm never going into it, meeting somebody thinking, "Ooh, this is what I want from this person." I'm like, "Hey, I already won. I'm alive, man.
Exactly.
Like I don't need anything."
I woke up this morning.
God has my power, and then my body and my being, and then everything else, So it's just like, especially now that we're dads, man. Like I think we want. Like we love what we do, we're with a significant other that we truly care about and love and we can be best friends with, and now we got a kid that we love more than anything. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, God blessed us, dude. And I'm so glad God blessed you too, considering the fact that you went through what you went through. Yeah. And now you have the ultimate thing, which is a family. Let's talk about that, man, before I ask you the final question.
Yeah.
Talk to me about, I think there's a misperception in this, especially in this world, in this country, where men and women relationship is kind of taking a hit.
Yeah.
Where men look at women as objects, and women don't want to be looked at objectively, but some women kind of have self-value for themselves, where they put themselves in that environment too. Mm-hmm. It's a mess at certain areas, right? Mm-hmm. Talk to me about the importance of, now that you're in a position where you're with your ride or die and you have a kid, like, isn't that freaking awesome? Isn't that something that everybody should be, boy and girl, should be striving to have?
Yeah, 100%. And I really think too is it's like I had to get through a lot of bad relationships to get to where I was at, but this girl, Athena, she saw me at the end of my darkest tales, right? She met me with a tether on my ankle because when I got out of prison, I had to have 6 months or 4 months in the house on tether, and like that's when she saw me. But she saw through that and saw who I was and who I was trying to become. And she was a good person. Like, she was doing the right things before doing the right things even crossed my mind, right? Yeah. She had just always grown up that way. Good person, good girl, family oriented, like all the things that I wasn't. And that attracted me to her, And she helped show me how to love myself. I was still in my depression. I was still coming off of that. And she really gave me the self-value, and like the first time in my life I felt love, and I was like, whoa, I need to start taking her, like I need to love this guy as much as she loves this guy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like, so I think a lot of it comes down to like finding that right person, finding that person that shows you it's okay to love yourself, tells you it's okay to do these things, like actually genuinely wants to see you succeed. And her seeing me and being with me in the worst phase, and then now getting to be with me here, almost 9 years later, it's like, this is the version of me that she saw, right? We had to get through the hard times, and me still being a knucklehead and fight through those challenges. And, even when I opened this restaurant, she's like, it's the thing you want to do it. Like, she just does it. Oh, you want to do this podcast with Leo? I think that's a great idea. Like, she pushes me towards the things that excites me. She has my back when I need it the most. Like when I'm working 3 jobs right now, I'm building 3 businesses. It's like, it's not the best plan of attack. I should be focused on one, right? But at the same time, it's where I'm at in the stage of life, and she's supportive of it, right? She's doing a great job raising our kid. She cares, this is her pride and joy, this baby, like it's her everything, just as it is for me. So like, finding that person, that makes you love yourself and like allows you to, and says it's okay, it's totally worth it. But you can't go to the bar to find that person most of the time. Like maybe, right? But like find your love, whatever it is outside of it. Like maybe it's pickleball. Maybe you find that person that has similar interests as you do. Like me and Athena, like we're not totally similar interests. We do think a lot alike, right? But our interests are different, meaning like we can go do our own things and be comfortable with it, But yeah, don't just jump into something, or just because your parents said that she's a nice girl, like maybe that's their perception. You have to live your own life. You have to find your own person. And I think it's totally worth it. Like I have some younger people that work for me in apps, and they're still in their early 20s, late teens, they're in the party mode, right? They're having fun. It's college. It's this. It's that. And they're like, Friday night, Matt, what are you doing? It's the same answer every time. I get to go home to my son, and as soon as he goes to bed, my wife and I are gonna hang out. We did the party stuff, and like, and they're like, oh, like whatever, and like we're gonna go hang out and get some drinks and da da da. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like I did the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, go back 7 years and someone would have said that to me, I would have felt so inclined to just go out and party. Like I felt like I would have needed that. But the life I have right now, getting to come home to my wife and kid, like, it's so much better.
Amen, brother. Amen. So last question that I like to ask people, and I'm sure you know what this question is, man. But what are your 3 gratitudes today?
Yeah, and before I answer that, I do want to thank you for having me on. Like, again, being in the room with you always elevates me, makes me become a better person, and being involved in this podcast, like, it's just another layer of, like, I wanted you to get to know me a little bit better. Like, you obviously asked me to be on here, but I wanted to be as, like, open as possible in this situation, because not only, like, getting to know you better, but, like, everyone listening having the opportunity to, like, maybe learn something from this as well. So
Yes,
I appreciate the opportunity.
You did just that.
So my 3 gratitudes, I don't want to go basic and say my son, but like, bro, like the mindset he gave me, right? The mindset he gave me, him being around him, just looking at me and smiling at me, like, I'm super, super grateful for that. I'll just tap into my wife, because I told you how grateful I am for her, of like that whole story, right? That's a massive thing.
It's a ride or die right there.
100%. And my 3rd gratitude was just, having the ability to like do this. Like, this isn't a chore for me, and like I have to be very selective of my time nowadays, because again, managing 3 things plus trying to be present at home is like, that's 4 things. It's like basically 4 businesses. And it's chopped my time down so shortly. So like, having the opportunity to do this and sit down today is a big gratitude for me, because like I want to make time for the things that I want to, and now like learning how to say no has been very challenging, but I've been very good at it for like the last year or so.
Good.
Maybe like 8 months, somewhere in that pocket. But regardless, I've been getting a lot better at it. So like, I get to do this. I want to do this. Now I get to just do the things that I want to do, versus like I felt like I had to do all the events at NAPS because people asked me to, where I was just like, no, I'm not good at that skill. I don't want to do that thing. I don't care about the money enough to, go and get myself all crazy. So.
Yeah.
So this is good, and I appreciate you like help guiding me through all this and asking good questions. Like, not everybody has that ability to, like, I've been in some interviews where I feel like it was just rough. You know what I'm saying?
It's rough.
Yeah, this was great. You're taking notes the whole time. You're asking good questions, so I'm grateful for all of it.
Thank you, Matt. And I'm gonna wrap this episode by sharing my 3 gratitudes. I think I'm gonna start doing this, Henry, where I'm gonna share my 3 gratitudes, but I'm gonna make it about the guest. Okay, so my 3 gratitudes about Matt today. I'm gonna have to say, Matt, I'm thankful for your grit, man. You're like Dan Campbell on those Lions. No wonder why you like him so much. Yeah. You got grit, and that grit is something that I think can go toe to toe with anybody in this world. I mean, when you look at your story and what you had to go through, bro, like, I don't know if I would have been able to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, and that's not to bring me down, but to lift you up, man. So I'm super thankful that you had that, because who I am looking at right now, I'm proud of him. And your kid and your wife is super lucky to have you as their, father figure. Mm-hmm. And then I'm also thankful for you for just being ambitious and not fucking, just bullshitting around anymore, and, hanging around with some cats that may bring you down. You're hanging around with cats that, that you want to emulate. If you're not hanging around them, you're definitely consuming them by looking them up on the internet and watching their videos. So I hope that, I should say, I'm thankful that we were able to create something like this that hopefully impacts, a human being out here, the way a Gary Vee did to you, or Jay Shetty did to me, or Lewis Howes did to me, or Tony Robbins did to you. Like, all these guys, we want to be among, we want to sit at that table. We want to be one of those guys that can sit down and chop it up with them and bring something to the table, but also always having that learner's mindset to listen. So I think, and that's the third thing, man. I think you're a very your spirit is good. Your spirit is good, dude, and I know that you've been in roles in life in which the people may have deemed you as a bad spirit due to the the circumstances and the mistakes that you may have made. But I look at your story, man, and I just think you weren't dealt with the strongest Pokemon cards, but you kept drawing out of that deck, and you sacrificed the ones that you needed to, and you invested into the ones that you needed to. And I think I'm totally making this Pokemon reference because you're a fan of it, and I'm Japanese. But you have evolved yourself into a very impressive Pokemon hunter. You are a real life Satoshi. You really are.
Thank you.
Well, so thank you, man, and thanks for everybody who tunes in. I'm super thankful, obviously. Henry, thank you to you, man, for always coming and recording this and helping me with the post-production process. And guys, if you really like this, always subscribe and like. I never thought I would be saying these things, but now I know why those guys all say that. Please do those things because we want to get the word out. We want to get good people like this out here and amplify their voices. So Matt, if there's anything that you want to tell people before we head on out here, anything that you want to say?
One thing that I always like to say is treat others how you want to be treated, but from a business standpoint, put your foot into your employee's shoes and realize that you work for them and they don't work for you, because at the end of the day, you couldn't do this alone. And that goes with life and in business and whatever it is. It's important to have good people around you that uplift you and just take care of one another. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Another successful episode. Thank you so much to all of you tuning in from around the world who speak English. And arigatou gozaimasu to all the people who are out in Japan. Nihon no minasama, domo arigatou gozaimasu. Matt, thank you, man. We're going to go out to Japan one of these days. Yes. We're going to do some restaurant reviews out there. I'm telling you, it's going to be a great video. But stay tuned for the interviews that we're about to do with the restaurant owners. And, stay tuned for these pieces of content that's coming out. Well, it already is out if you're watching it, right? So, my bad. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. It's your boy Leo Ayrault here. Matt, thanks again. That's Matt Do Right. Go follow him on all social platforms. And see you next episode.